I was 27, staring at a computer screen in a dead-end job, my inbox overflowing with unread emails, my boss's voice echoing in my head. "You're not a team player." Those words hit me like a freight train. Me? Not a team player? I'd always thought I was good enough, smart, hardworking, the guy who showed up early and stayed late. But there I was, sitting in a cold, fluorescent-lit office, my coffee gone stale, realizing I'd been fired. Not because I didn't know how to code or crunch numbers, but because I lacked something far more critical: soft skills, communication, empathy, adaptability, the stuff nobody teaches you in school. I'd spent years chasing technical expertise, thinking that was the golden ticket, but it was my inability to connect, to listen, to handle conflict without crumbling that cost me everything. My career was slipping through my fingers, and I didn't even see it coming. Let me take you back to the moment it all fell apart. The moment I realized I'd been living a lie, pretending I had it all together while my professional life was a house of cards waiting to collapse. It started 6 months earlier. I was working as a junior analyst at a mid-sized tech firm. The job wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills, and I thought I was on my way up. I'd sit at my desk, headphones on, grinding through spreadsheets, avoiding small talk with my coworkers. I told myself I didn't need to waste time chatting about their weekends or their kids' soccer games. I was there to work, not to make friends. But that mindset was my first mistake. I didn't realize how much those little conversations mattered, how they built trust, how they made people want to work with you. Instead, I was the guy who kept his head down, who answered emails with one-word replies, who got annoyed when meetings ran long. I thought I was being efficient. My coworkers thought I was being cold, and they weren't wrong. Then came the project that broke me. My team was tasked with delivering a major client presentation. I was confident, arrogant even. I'd done the research, built the models, and crunched the data. I thought I was carrying the team, but when it came time to collaborate, I fumbled. I didn't listen to my teammate Sarah when she suggested a different approach to the visuals. I brushed off Mike's concerns about the timeline, thinking he was just being lazy. I didn't ask for feedback because I didn't think I needed it. The day of the presentation, I stood in front of the client, my slides polished, my numbers flawless. But the room felt like a freezer. The client's questions came fast, and I froze. I stumbled over my words, got defensive when they pushed back, and failed to pivot when they threw curveballs. My team didn't step in to save me. Why would they? I'd shut them out for weeks. We lost the client, and I lost my job. That night, I sat on my couch, staring at the eviction notice on my coffee table. I'd been so focused on being good at my job that I'd ignored the skills that actually mattered. I couldn't communicate effectively. I didn't know how to handle conflict or build relationships. I wasn't adaptable. I was rigid, stuck in my ways, convinced I knew best. I'd spent years in college learning equations and software, but nobody taught me how to navigate a tough conversation or inspire a team. I felt like a failure, like I'd wasted my 20s chasing the wrong things. My friends were moving up in their careers, getting promotions, while I was unemployed, scrolling LinkedIn, feeling the weight of every rejection email. I hit rock bottom, wondering if I'd ever climb out of this hole. But rock bottom has a way of waking you up. I started reflecting. Really reflecting, for the first time in years. I thought about the times I'd snapped at a coworker for asking a dumb question, or the meetings where I'd zoned out because I thought I had nothing to learn. I realized I wasn't just bad at soft skills, I was clueless about them. I'd been so obsessed with proving I was the smartest person in the room that I'd forgotten how to be human. I remembered a moment from my first job when my manager pulled me aside and said, "You're talented, but talent isn't enough if people don't want to work with you." I brushed it off back then, but now those words haunted me. I knew I had to change, not just for my career, but for myself. I didn't want to be the guy who kept losing opportunities because I couldn't connect with people. I wanted to be better, not just at my job, but at life. That's when I started my journey. I dove into books, podcasts, and workshops, desperate to learn the skills I'd ignored for so long. I practiced active listening, forcing myself to actually hear what people were saying instead of planning my next response. I worked on managing my emotions, learning to stay calm when conflicts arose instead of shutting down or lashing out. I started small, asking a coworker about their day, apologizing when I was wrong, admitting when I didn't know something. It wasn't easy. I felt awkward, exposed, like I was learning to walk all over again. But slowly, I started to see changes. My conversations got smoother. My coworkers started trusting me. I wasn't perfect, but I was growing. And that growth gave me hope. Hope that I could rebuild, that I could become the kind of person people wanted to work with, the kind of person I wanted to be. This wasn't just about getting a new job. It was about rewriting my story. I realized that soft skills weren't just nice to haves. They were the foundation of everything. They were the difference between being good and being great, between surviving and thriving. And the craziest part? They weren't as hard to learn as I thought. They just took intention, practice, and a willingness to get uncomfortable. I wish someone had told me this sooner. I wish I'd known that the skills I'd dismissed as fluffy were the ones that could make or break my career. But I learned the hard way, and now I'm here to share what I've discovered, so you don't have to hit rock bottom like I did. I stood in front of my bathroom mirror, practicing how to say, "I'm sorry," without sounding like I was choking on the words. It felt ridiculous rehearsing an apology to my reflection, but I was desperate to change. After losing my job, I'd realized that my lack of soft skills, communication, empathy, adaptability, wasn't just a weakness, it was a career killer. I wasn't going to let that define me anymore. I'd spent too many nights drowning in self-pity, replaying every awkward meeting, every missed opportunity, every time I'd shut someone out because I thought I didn't need them. But now, I was ready to fight for a better version of myself. I didn't have a fancy coach or a big budget, just a burning desire to stop failing at the things that mattered most. So, I built a plan, a roadmap to master the soft skills I'd ignored for years. It wasn't glamorous, but it worked. And today, I'm sharing that plan with you step by step so you can avoid the pain I went through and start building the skills that will make you unstoppable at work. The first step was learning to listen, really listen. I used to think listening meant waiting for my turn to talk, but I was wrong. I started small, forcing myself to focus on what people were saying without interrupting or zoning out. I'd nod, make eye contact, and ask follow-up questions even if I didn't care about the answer at first. I remember sitting with a coworker, Tom, during lunch, hearing him ramble about his new puppy. My old self would have checked my phone, but instead, I listened. I asked about the puppy's breed, its quirks. Tom lit up, and for the first time, I saw him as more than just that guy from marketing. That conversation led to him sharing a project opportunity with me, one I'd never have known about if I'd stayed in my bubble. To practice, try this. In your next conversation, put your phone away, face the person, and aim to repeat back one thing they said to confirm you heard them. It sounds basic, but it's transformative. Listening builds trust, and trust is what makes people to want to collaborate with you. The second step was mastering tough conversations. I used to avoid conflict like it was allergic to it, either clamming up or getting defensive when things got heated. But conflict isn't the enemy. Poor communication is. I learned a technique called the pause and reflect method. Before responding in a heated moment, I'd take a deep breath and ask myself, what's the real issue here? This gave me time to cool off and respond thoughtfully. Once, my new boss criticized my report in a team meeting, and my instinct was to argue back. Instead, I breathed, nodded, and said, "I appreciate the feedback. Can we discuss how to improve it?" That simple shift turned a potential fight into a productive talk. To do this, practice pausing for 3 seconds before replying in a tense situation. Write down one sentence summarizing what the other person said to clarify their point. This keeps you calm and shows you're engaged. Over time, you'll handle conflicts like a pro, and that's a skill that sets you apart in any workplace. The third step was building empathy, the skill I'd underestimated most. I used to think empathy was just being nice, but it's about understanding someone else's perspective, even when you don't agree. I started by imagining myself in my coworker's shoes. When Sarah missed a deadline, instead of getting annoyed, I asked, "Is everything okay?" Turns out she was juggling a sick parent and a full workload. That conversation changed how we worked together. She trusted me more, and we became a stronger team. To build empathy, try this. Once a day, ask someone how they're doing and really listen to their answer. Then, reflect on what might be driving their behavior. Are they stressed? Overwhelmed? This habit rewires your brain to see people as humans, not obstacles. Empathy isn't just about being kind. It's about creating connections that make your work life smoother and your team more effective. The fourth step was adaptability, the ability to roll with the punches. I used to hate change, new software, new managers, new priorities. It made me rigid, and that rigidity cost me opportunities. I started practicing what I called the yes experiment. For 1 month, I said yes to every new task or idea, even if it scared me. When my team switched to a new project management tool, I didn't complain. I dove in, watched tutorials, and became the go-to person for questions. That earned me respect and a promotion. To get adaptable, pick one new thing at work this week, maybe a tool, a process, or a meeting you'd normally skip, and commit to learning it. Track your progress in a notebook, noting what worked and what didn't. Adaptability isn't about being perfect. It's about showing you can handle whatever comes your way. What's the payoff? Let me paint the picture. Before, I was the guy nobody wanted to work with, isolated, stressed, and stuck. After mastering these skills, I landed a new job as a project coordinator. My meetings are smoother because I listen and clarify. I handle feedback without crumbling because I pause and reflect. My team trusts me because I show empathy, and my boss relies on me because I adapt fast. I'm not just surviving at work, I'm thriving. I've built relationships that open doors, like the mentor who helped me negotiate a 20% raise or the colleague who recommended me for a high-profile project. My income's up, my stress is down, and I feel in control of my career for the first time. These skills didn't just save my job, they changed my life. You don't need to overhaul everything overnight. Start with one step: listening, pausing, empathizing, or adapting, and practice it daily. Picture your phone screen showing a calendar filled with productive meetings instead of endless distractions. Imagine walking into work confident, knowing you can handle any challenge, any conversation. That's what these skills give you. Not just a better job, but a better you. I'm not saying it's easy. Change never is, but it's worth it. Every awkward pause, every tough talk, every moment you choose to grow brings you closer to the career you deserve. And trust me, once you see the results, you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner. I used to think my career was doomed, that I'd always be the guy who fumbled through meetings, alienated coworkers, and watched opportunities slip away. But standing here now, I'm not that person anymore. I've rebuilt myself, one conversation, one pause, one moment of empathy at a time. Those soft skills, listening, handling conflict, empathizing, adapting, aren't just tools. They're the foundation of a life where you don't just survive at work, you dominate it. I'm not telling you this to brag. I'm telling you because I know what it's like to feel stuck, to wonder if you'll ever be good enough, to see everyone else moving forward while you're left behind. I've been there, staring at my phone at 2 a.m., scrolling through job postings, feeling like I'd never measure up. But I did something about it. I took control. And now I'm standing on the other side, living a life I never thought was possible, a career where I'm respected, valued, and honestly, pretty damn happy. You can have that too. Not tomorrow, not next year, right now. But it starts with a choice, a single, bold decision to stop making excuses and start acting. So what's it going to be? Are you ready to rewrite your story, or are you going to keep letting those soft skills hold you back? Let's get real for a second. You're watching this video because something's not working. Maybe you're sitting in a cubicle dreading the next team meeting because you don't know how to speak up without sounding awkward. Maybe you're dodging your boss's emails because you're scared of getting called out. Or maybe you're just tired of feeling like you're not reaching your potential, like you're stuck in a loop of missed chances and half-hearted efforts. I see you. I was you. But here's the truth. You don't need a new degree, a new job, or a new city to change your life. You need to commit to building the skills that make people want to work with you, trust you, promote you. The steps I shared, listening with intention, mastering tough talks, showing empathy, embracing change, they're not magic. They're practical, they're doable, and they're waiting for you to start right now. Not when you feel ready, not when you have more time. Now. Because every day you wait is another day you're letting your career slip through your fingers. So, here's what I want you to do. Grab a notebook, a sticky note, hell, even the back of a receipt. Write down one soft skill you're going to work on this week. Maybe it's listening, putting your phone down and really hearing what your coworker's saying. Maybe it's pausing before you snap back in a heated moment. Pick one and commit to practicing it every single day for 7 days. Track it. Write down what happens, how people respond, how you feel. I did this with a cheap spiral notebook, jotting down every time I listened or stayed calm in a conflict. By day 3, I noticed my team was more open with me. By day 7, my boss asked for my input on a big project. That's what action does. It creates momentum. It turns I wish into I did. And if you're sitting there thinking, I don't have time, let me ask you this. How much time are you spending scrolling social media, stressing over work drama, or second-guessing yourself? Redirect that energy. 5 minutes a day. That's all it takes to start, but don't stop there. This isn't a one-and-done deal. Soft skills are like muscles. You've got to keep working them. So, make a plan. Block out 10 minutes every morning to practice one skill. Maybe you role-play a tough conversation with a friend. Maybe you watch a YouTube video on active listening and try one technique. Maybe you ask a colleague how they're doing and actually care about the answer. Small actions stack up. They did for me. A year after I started, I wasn't just employed. I was leading projects, mentoring new hires, and getting invites to industry events because people knew I could handle the room. You can do this. You're not too busy, too shy, or too far behind. You're one decision away from changing everything. And here's the thing. You don't have to do this alone. That's why I'm here, making these videos, pouring my heart out to help you avoid the mistakes I made. If this story, these steps, this fire in my voice is resonating with you, then join me. Hit that subscribe button right now, not because I need the numbers, but because you're committing to yourself, to staying in this journey, to learning more about how to crush it at work and in life. Every week, I'm dropping new videos with real, actionable tips. Not fluff, not theory, but stuff you can use the next day. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's keep this going together. You're not just a viewer. You're part of a community of people who are done settling and ready to grow. I want to hear from you too. Drop a comment below. Tell me, what's the one soft skill you're struggling with most? Is it speaking up in meetings, handling criticism without losing it? Connecting with coworkers who drive you up the wall? Share it. Not only will it help you own your journey, but it'll show others they're not alone. I read every comment, and I'll be jumping in to answer your questions, share more tips, maybe even make a video based on what you're dealing with. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, maybe a friend who's stuck in their career or a sibling who's nervous about their first job, share this video with them. You could be the spark that changes their path. Before I go, picture this. You, 6 months from now, walking into work with a quiet confidence. You're not just getting by, you're leading, connecting, solving problems like a pro. Your boss notices. Your team respects you. You're not stressed out or burned out. You're energized because you've cracked the code. That's what mastering soft skills can do. It's not about being perfect. It's about being better every day. So, make that choice. Pick one skill. Start today. Hit subscribe, leave a comment, share this video. Take that first step because the life you want, the career you deserve, is waiting on the other side of action. What's stopping you? Let's do this.